Hello, Niels. It's good to have you here today. We're going to talk about the postal sector. In your work, you have a lot to do with postal companies and you see many developments, trends, emerging technologies, and these we're curious about. I'm Nadia Hilger, the head of marketing of Spectos, the company you founded and are the CEO of. So before we dive deep into our topic, let's briefly talk about Spectos. In a nutshell, what does Spectos do?
Hi Nadia, happy to be here for the interview today. Spectos is supporting organizations, enterprises to improve their service quality by monitoring their performance and providing solutions to increase efficiency and manage customer experiences.
What's the story behind Spectos and why the focus on service quality monitoring solutions?
Yeah, Spectos actually started, or the story of Spectos starts in the early days of liberalization and privatization of the postal sector in Germany. So from the very early days of the privatization, we developed tools for postal operators in a very early stage. The privatization meant competition, which was relatively new and unknown for postal services in most countries at this time. So suddenly postal operators had to report about quality of service, operational performance. They had to report to regulators, but also to customers and shareholders. So this was the origin of Spectos, where we started in 2001. And actually 2001 was kind of the peak volumes for letters in the postal industry. And since then, we are supporting clients around the world to manage their challenges about the ongoing transformation of the postal sector. And what we always have in mind is an end-to-end perspective on the postal processes from a customer point of view. Because at the end, customers decide, and we believe that everybody want to get good service, likes great service, and we are here to support our clients to deliver it.
So as you said, it's an ongoing transformation and new challenges emerge on a regular basis. So in the course of the past year, what issues have you encountered in your work with postal companies? What problems are posts struggling with?
Yeah, since 2001, that's 20 years now, postal market has changed dramatically from basically a domestic letter mail driven business to very diversified portfolios of services and solutions among all the different players in the market. So we see now operators who see their future in international e-commerce, cross-border e-commerce, or those who mainly focus on regional markets and last mile delivery for various products, and those who actually redefine the universal service to serve the public best possible on the domestic market still. So, and beyond that, there are the large customers of postal services who started to measure control performance from their end. And that's still a big challenge, especially when big customers like large e-commerce companies, they sometimes now have better data and processes than the operators themselves in several countries. And that's a really big challenge. And even sometimes they are starting to play their own role in last mile delivery in originally protected playground of postal operators. So that's a very big challenge. And from our point of view, service has improved and through the competition and the transformation in the market, because everything is driven by e-commerce, by having a good experience on the website, on your smartphone. So many things have changed and postal organizations have to change along, and we help to pick the best way to go forward.
Okay, so what do you think will postal companies need to do? What will it take for them to offer great services and to make their processes more efficient? What do you think can we expect in the coming years? What trends do you see in the postal sector?
Well, basically, I see three areas where we can anticipate new developments based on what we see from our work with postal operators today. One is especially on the management and the reporting side. So how to get more agile and how to report in a way that matches with the requirements. The second big topic we see is changes in workforce, because there are a lot of challenges with finding the right people and how to manage processes, very dynamic processes now. And last but not least, the very big topic of today and also of the next years to come will be sustainability. starting with the management point, the change is happening very fast, and transformation accelerates for many operators with the decline of mail volumes. So it means that the traditional products where they earn the money and services that are related to letter mail are very much impacted. And on the other hand, the awareness for the quality of those services, the traditional services, is increasing. So letter mail communication for many customers of many senders is a premium product, is a premium way of communicating. And those customers who are now paying postages that increase every year, they want to know what they pay for. And those customers often now also use online services, such as online marketing or online analytics, and they see that there are, let's say, continuous analytics. They have everything in real time. Everything is always there. They have a seamless experience from marketing and sales down to operations. So this is something where postal operators can improve, because it requires real-time insights, real-time communication tools to manage everything with always having the customer perspective, the customer in mind, and that's a very, very tough job. We often see that many operators still use large Excel sheets, rigid KPIs, which are very stuck. So this won't do the job alone anymore. So I think an agile approach is the way to go, having flexible objectives that are managed year to year, and also using digital tools to be able to compete with a digital space, or at least be an additional product to digital offerings or processes of the customers. So at the end, being flexible and responsive to customer needs, serving customers better, this should be the core of the management, and not just fleets and cars and delivery postmen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, it's definitely a tough situation for postal companies. So on one hand, consumers are becoming more price sensitive and expect top-notch service. But on the other hand, postal companies are facing declining volumes and rising wages. So what does this mean for operations?
Yeah, that's really a tough one. I mentioned this as one of the second points of the major trend. So one way to address this challenge is to look to become more effective. So how can I do the same job, or decreasing volumes in certain areas and increasing volumes in other areas with very efficient processes? And of course here, in many, let's say, Western countries, we see that the workforce is also getting smaller. The competition is also not just among customers now, but also among people. So it's very, and people also want to have a good environment, work environment, and want to have efficient processes. So this is something which is very necessary to be implemented. And at the end, also how you do the job with less people, or how people work more efficiently. So of course, it means using flexible automated sorting system, which is already in place for many operators, but also how you can implement self-services or digital front ends to customers that help them to do many things alone, and on the other hand, reduce the workload for employees to improve efficiency. Another option is, of course, to provide added value to customers through premium services or specialized offerings. This could include things like expedited delivery or customized packaging options. And by offering some extras, customers are also willingly to pay more. And we see that good offerings also lead to better acceptance, and also then the pressure on the declining volumes is less, and it's able to serve or to be able to pay more to the operational staff. But yeah, at the end, it's very, very important to find a good balance between cost cutting and offering premium services, because purely premium services might also accelerate the decline of mail. So yeah, it must be a good balance, and it depends very much on the domestic market that you can remain competitive as a postal operator, and how many other players are there. But yeah, customers expect excellent quality, and this is at the end, when it comes down, one of the core drivers for the business, and also efficiency of processes. On the other hand, we also see that the downscaling of those operational processes which was actually, many of those systems were built for increasing volumes, for permanently increasing volumes, but now you have the other way around. Volumes go down, investments are more difficult to be justified, and this results in many heavy legacy systems, creating certain overheads and also decreasing workforce. Not only is a matter of cost cutting or you saving costs, but you also have a certain brain drain, especially for those legacy systems, which gives a tough job to some processes. So it's very hard to manage those legacy systems, and it's very important also to combine knowledge, combine processes, and this helps to pool or outsource to certain specialists who can do certain of those jobs to be able to handle such legacy systems.
Mm-hmm. Now you've addressed many points in what postal operators could do to either be more effective or balance costs with premium services. So do you have a specific solution in mind when you talk about digitizing processes and having flexible operations that can be scaled up and down? Or especially, do you see potential for optimization and efficiency gains for postal companies?
Yeah, one good example here is, for example, the sorting process. So many postal operators around the world have heavily invested into automated sorting equipment and automation for handling letters, parcels, to increase capacity, and of course the still ever increasing volume of parcels, which is a tough job, but also on the letter side. Even it's decreasing. We're still talking about billions of letters that are sent year by year, day to day, and those need to be handled. But this is something we also see that it's hard to predict the volumes. So the volumes are more volatile, so going up and down. And this not always comes along with the workforce. You cannot scale up and down the workforce as you like. So this is a difficult situation. And also the sorting facilities, you don't want them too big because then you have overcapacities. But if you want to handle some days, so there's always a manual process in place. One manual process, which is, for example, in place is also that letters and parcels that we're sending, we talk about 5%. For example, on the sorting equipment that cannot be handled by or fully automatic by the machine, so they need a certain video coding. We see that the video coding is, of course, a very small process or a very small step within the sorting process. But if we talk about 5, sometimes 10% of the volumes which cannot be processed on time, that also means that those letters, parcels are endangered to be delivered a day late, which is a quality of service issue. And also, of course, these are additional costs that come on top. And if you have peak volume, then you need to handle them with relatively old software. So this is a difficult task. And many companies now start with pooling already. Pooling those, for example, those video coding services, helping to, let's say, at least centralize this service, centralize the know-how. But then it's still difficult to handle peak times, peak volumes. And this is something where, for example, Spectos is also active. We are helping companies to handle such processes, also with legacy systems, helping them to handle peak times and ensure a good quality of the video coding as an external service. So you can variably use the service, and this reduces costs and increases or improves the quality of service for the sorting process.
Yeah, right. Especially now, we are at the year end, so we have peak times in letter and parcel volumes. And when you talk about 5%, it doesn't sound like much. But if you look at the numbers, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of letters and parcels that need to be worked on manually to get the address, for example, correct.
Exactly. It's a tough job. Not many people know what's happening behind sending a letter or a parcel. And it's a difficult, challenging task.
So we've talked about the need to digitize and automate to be future-proof, but now what about sustainability? There are many studies out there, and a recent study on global consumer trend shows that consumers also prefer socially responsible companies and brands. So for a postal company, will it be enough to invest in an electric fleet to be considered socially responsible? What's your take on this?
The social responsibility or corporate social responsibility topic is a very big topic. Much has been said about this already, and definitely a good CSR within a company has become a major differentiator, and it's very necessary to find a position on this topic to become or to create a future-proof business. And the problem I see here is it's not something you just write down or you make a nice presentation of. It's something you need to implement, and something that has a heavy impact on also investments, which hit many operators also at a time where investments are difficult to make since volumes are going down in certain areas. But so that's why I have to look very clearly and very precisely on what CSR topics you go for, which measures you take. And this also means, again, which we're coming back to the agile management, setting the right KPIs, reporting those KPIs, and handling those KPIs, which is very difficult. So let's say investing in an electric fleet is certainly a nice step or a nice topic to go for, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and contribute to cleaner environment. But of course, that's not the only thing. So this is only one part of the CSR topic, and it's one part which is very expensive, which needs very heavy investments. But there are many other aspects that need to be looked at. For example, reducing waste, conserving resources, avoiding traffic, and for example, avoiding unnecessary transport, also to minimize the impact on environment. So postal companies should consider a wide range of sustainability measures to be really considered socially responsible. That's why I said beyond the measures and investments, it's very important to have a good reporting, to check what you do, how you do it, monitor those standards in a very effective way, because all this costs a lot of money and also can become a big threat if it's treated in the wrong way, because regulators, investors, also large customers are now requiring a good reporting and a good CSR ranking to a certain extent to work with you. So it's a must, but it's more than electric vehicles.
It sounds like it's all coming back to data and how you use your data and make it work for your purposes. So how is Spectos actually positioned to serve these trends you mentioned, reporting, management, sustainability, automation? What solutions do you offer?
Happy you mentioned the data, Nadia. That's definitely why we are here. Data is our business, handling data, creating data, using data to, on the one hand, monitor quality of service, but on the other hand, also helping companies to improve through this data. So that's why we developed our Spectos real-time performance management platform, where we offer a wide range of solutions that support the transformation of the postal industry. First, we have a core that helps customers really having an end-to-end customer perspective, measuring the right KPIs, putting those indicators into insights to manage the full process end-to-end. And on the other hand, it allows to incorporate ERP, CRM data, traffic data, track and trace data, to really match those numbers with your operational processes to see efficiency gaps. And this is what we provide with our platform. And beyond that, we have a lot of solutions that help also to improve customer experience, improve operational efficiency and quality management. And often here it's helping also to digitize processes that are already in place, whether they are based on Excel or Google Sheets, which makes everything more agile, easier to use, and also, let's say, for the next generation of the workers, easier to handle and more fun to work with. And this at the end will also help to provide great services to customers. And that's what we think. Everybody likes great service, and that's why we're here to help to provide it.
All right. So we've talked a lot about the postal market, but what's really of interest to me and many others, maybe from your background, you're an architect. So how come that you've shifted the industries or the focus? Where's the link?
Actually, I've studied architecture, but I never worked as an architect, so to say. But let's say I still can find many relations to architecture also in postal processes, because many things have to be built, many things have to be drafted and designed, and at the end, people must feel comfortable also with the service provided to them. So architecture is not just about houses, and postal is not just about letters. So that's what makes things interesting for me. So that's why I never changed the industry, and I'm still very excited about the industry, because everybody thinks it's very easy to send a letter from A to B, but what is really behind, it's a big, a structure and a big network that is in place to make this happen, make that service happen.
That's true. All right. So if you had an opportunity to spend as much as you want, but as a one-time purchase to you or your team, what would you spend it on?
It's a nice, surprising question.
Yeah. There's no limit to your spending.
No limit.
But a one-time investment or purchase.
A one-time investment. I think one-time investments nowadays become rare. Everything becomes cloud and becomes service and becomes ongoing. Of course, not just what I want, but what we also do at Spectos. We try to invest in software and things that makes things easier to handle processes in a modern way. And I think if we had this opportunity, this is what we also go for. Creating a good working environment, because the people are the drivers behind the business, and this also results in good results for the customer.
Yeah, that's also true. So if you're passionate about what you do, then it has great outcomes. Yeah. I think with this, we're also at the end of our interview. Thank you very much for your time and for your interesting insights. And I look forward to doing this again at some point.
Thanks, Nadja. Always a pleasure. Have a good day.